Available. There we go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are back live and just checking the other side there. Welcome back to Talk Live. And just making sure that we are okay to go here on YouTube. But we're here on Instagram. Hello, welcome back to Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Hopefully just get this YouTube thing going. Just give me a second. Hope everybody's doing well and everybody's doing okay. Yes, we are back. We are live here for another week of Talk Live. Yes, indeed. Hope you had a great weekend. I did as well. Had a wedding. Let's see what this is going on here. This is what I was afraid of. Hold on. Let me see if I can. What's happening here? Just give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. So we're back. Yes, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. We are back on full cam. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We are back. We are live. Let's set the scene, ladies and gentlemen. I have a little technicality with regards to the YouTube feed where we are back and we are live. I've got a haircut. Yes, indeed. I've cut my hair down, but this will be probably the lowest you'll see it in a while. I am on a growth spurt, and it will be back to its usual glory in due course, but found a new barber, and he's cutting my hair in a very good way. Actually, shout out to JR from I think it's Guidance Barbers. Yes, indeed. Guidance Barbers. Yes, indeed. That was fantastic. Great haircut. And also, again, I am very happy for the service that he gave me this week, but it's all reaching towards a point of peak, and that will be in August, as you know, if you're in Toronto, in the city of Toronto. It is the peak of the party season in the city. So that I can't believe it's already June, my guy. Yes, indeed. It is the birthday month, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Elliot celebrates his birthday this month. And we are back and we are live on Talk Live. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and sponsored by DUNTALK.com. Oh, it looks like my J's got on the board finally. And thank you, George, for not making it not so much of an embarrassment. Tonight, let's discuss Caitlin Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not an avid watcher of women's sports, period. That is hockey, that is basketball, that is football, the real football, not this, not the one that women can't play, the one that men can't. Well, you know what, there is the lingerie league. Anyways, that's for another subject altogether. But here we are back, and we are live, and we're discussing Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the phenomenon that has taken over women's professional basketball in the States, actually, and soon to be Canada. As you know, Canada is Toronto's getting its own WNBA franchise. We do not know what the name is, but it will be named in due course. I believe it starts next year. And soon to be here will be the aforementioned Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is, yes, indeed, the basketball player whose tremendous skills has mesmerized audiences throughout the WNBA, and has brought new eyes towards the game. It is people are judging it to be like Tiger Woods step onto golf. Anyways, that's a worldwide phenomenon. This is more of a North American phenomenon. Also, they judge it to be like Serena Williams stepping onto the Williams sisters stepping onto the tennis court in women's tennis, and quite simply, it's a phenomenon that's bringing new eyes, bringing new focus, and bringing new, they would say, prosperity to the game of women's basketball. So, shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's doing wonderful things. She had a spectacular collegiate career at Iowa, and finally got her shot in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever. She was their first draft pick. But, you know, 'tis human nature to not be so happy about one individual and her success in a league that badly needs attention. And I do mean badly needs. Shout out to Golden Arm. How are you, sir? Badly needs attention. And it is a shame, really, because this is a league that was on its knees. This is a league that has never been profitable, and is a league that that beggars any sort of attention whatsoever. So when you have a good time story like Caitlin Clark, you would think that the whole basketball world, if not the sports world, will be rooting for her. Finally, a star to which all people can relate, all people can adore adore for her skills, for her skill set, and for her prowess on the basketball court. And unfortunately, not all people are like that. Such is human nature. And of course, we'll always have our haters, won't we? And lo and behold, it came from a certain group of, well, WNBA players. Yes, those WNBA players that were previous to this year were literally taking commercial flights throughout the WNBA league and had to, well, get a further career outside of the WNBA in parts of Europe. You remember Brittany Griner and her exploits in Russia, for which she was formally charged for drug possession and locked up for many years, in which she was exchanged for the Merchant of Death. That, my friends, was the highlight, and I mean the great highlight of the WNBA league. Quite simply, it's been a long time coming that a wholesome star could come to the league and, well, show off its talents and its prowess. Now, again, I'm not an avid looker on myself, but it brings interesting eyes, such as myself, into the fold, into the ranks, to see what Caitlin Clark can do. Shout out to Chanel. How are you, my dear? So we are going to chat about the Caitlin Clark saga because, as you know, she has not been well received in many quarters of the WNBA, including those who are, well, the alphabet gang, quite simply, and it's becoming quite apparent that a lot of women, especially, well, the grand constituency of, either black women or alphabet gang women who do not welcome her prowess, her space onto the WNBA floor, because they deem it to be a bit of a hindrance and taken away from shine from other players in the league, and yeah, it's and they want the shine for themselves, shine that they tried to do all by themselves, and they couldn't do it. So Caitlin Clark was welcome, but yet she's not welcome. So I don't know what to say. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into it tonight on Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Let's get into the browser here. Let's do a little recap, shall we, of the whole proceedings, and we're gonna go to one of those who are on the list for, yes, remember this list that I showed you last week? Yes, this one. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. The Diverting Hate group. Yes, as you can see, that list right here on Talk Live. We're going to feature a video from number 9 on the list. That is Araco TV. Araco TV has done a wonderful synopsis of the Caitlin Clark saga up until this point, and that was just literally done a couple hours ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through that and give you a recap as to how things have gone with this Caitlin Clark story. Why this lady is, the shining light of the WNBA after years in darkness, quite simply, and how indeed it's bringing respect and notoriety to the league. So let's get into it right now. Thank you very much to Araco and his video and his post of jealous WNBA players are trying and failing to bully Caitlin Clark. And let's get into it now on Talk Live. Hello, Lana. How are you? And let's get into Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Dun Talk. All right, let's get into it now. And leave it up to Araco. Let's go.
Battery 100%.
Oh, we got a sound issue. Okay, there we go.
College basketball history.
So this is a female basketball player called Caitlin Clark, and as you've just seen, she's broken nearly every female college basketball record, and she's actually good to watch. Now, you'd think that other ex-female players would be happy that she's breaking records and actually making people want to watch female basketball. But no, instead they're trying to tear her down and play down all her accomplishments. Take a look.
Well, before we get into that, let's get into Caitlin Clark's game. Caitlin Clark plays a similar game, if you are familiar with the NBA, to that of Steph Curry. Very much a spot-up shooter, an outside gunner, and she can't miss from the outside, from the outer strip. So again, she is more of a catch and shoot sort of player. And again, she's not known for her defense. She's not known for her strong play in the post. She's just a catch and shoot, catch and shoot, catch and shoot. So she's borrowing from the notoriety gained by a certain Steph Curry. So as previously stated, but let's get into this.
Look at this.
I'll just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. I don't think my record has been broken because you can't duplicate what you're not duplicating. And so unless you come with a men's basketball and a 2-point shot, hey, you know.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year.
What?
Yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is. Dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. You should be killing them. Yeah. Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Absolutely not.
haven't seen a female play like her.
No, me either.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think it's like from a freedom standpoint, too. I haven't seen a player with that type of green light before in college.
I've never seen the style of what she plays.
I mean,
I've never seen a female play like that.
I've had games
like that.
I've had games in college and pro, 6, 7, 8 threes made.
All those women are meant to.
So again, you see a lot of women hating on Caitlin Clark because they think that she can do what she does, because they think that because they use a basketball, a man's basketball, that they deserve bigger notoriety, and basically they're saying, well, you know, they're instead of congratulating, they are instead of they're player hating. Let's give it there. Let's give it to them. They're player hating, and quite simply, lo and behold, unfortunately, it's a lot of black women hating on Caitlin Clark. Now, again, I do get the point that that the WNBA has had to, had its fair share of critics because of the fact that it is a league that has been predominantly black and alphabet gang since its inception, and that has put the league in a bad light, and not drawn a lot of faces similar to what the NBA did back in the day. They used to call it, the Jungle League. They used to call it the league of, basically street ballers, and they never had a superstar which brought eyes to the game before the advent of, the modern game, before Larry Bird arrived. And luckily, Larry Bird arrived the same year that Magic Johnson arrived, and then what used to be a tape-delayed league became one of the biggest leagues in the world. I think it's number 3 right now, behind the NFL and the MLB. So number 3 in terms of revenues. So it's a very, very powerful league simply because of the intersection of race and how it drove the league from the dark ages to modern times. And then you saw Michael Jordan simply take over. So you have a lot of ladies just, hating. Let's continue.
To be legends of female basketball, so you'd think they'd be mature, but instead they're acting like salty little teenagers that can't accept that someone's better and more entertaining than they were. Now, recently, Caitlin Clark was drafted as the #1 pick in the WNBA.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Now, you'd think that her getting drafted would actually make other players excited, considering that she actually draws in a crowd and she's actually got fans.
Now, do remember this. The WNBA draft never drew prime time numbers, status, and views until Caitlin Clark came along. This never used to be a draft that was done in prime time, if at all. Well, it was, but it was it was tape delayed. It was done in anonymity. It was NBA TV sort of thing. This was a national televised draft as soon as Caitlin Clark came along. Despite the circumstance of what she is, despite the fact that she was straight, despite the fact that but the fact of the matter is she was a great player that set NCAA records. So you're going to attract a lot of new eyes and new fans to the game and to the draft. So again, shout out to Caitlin Clark.
Fans, unlike the other Muppets.
As you can see, new audiences, new people into the game.
These other players being happy about
new
it,
young girls into the game.
Jealousy and negativity. It's embarrassing.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. There is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie, and it might take a little bit longer for some people.
But our last team...
Well, again, you're gonna come into into conversation with some grown ladies, and I mean grown Alphabet Gang members. You're gonna come into contact with the real Pink Mafia, and they are not going to take kindly to a straight girl with a boyfriend coming to the league and stealing their shine. They are not gonna like it, and quite simply, there were going to be some consequences for her notoriety and her newfound fame, quite simply. Yeah. And then we have, Jamel Hill. Noted, as you can see here on Talk Live on YouTube, a noted writer, ESPN host, and now I believe she writes for, let me see, where's the name? She's a noted writer at the moment. I tried. Oh yes, The Athletic. She writes at The Athletic right now. She does, and she has come out with not effusive praise of Caitlin Clark, thinking that you would bring some more eyes to a league that has sorely been lacking in eyes. Their biggest constituency for the WNBA in terms of fans are white men. White men at the age of 28 to 54 are their biggest fan base. Not women, men. But anyways, Jamel Hill had something to say about Caitlin Clark's inclusion in the WNBA and her newfound notoriety, and she was not too flattering.
Here is Jamel Hill. During an interview, Jamel Hill made multiple claims against Clark, saying that the women's basketball audience would be growing with or without Clark, also mentioning that Clark is only getting so much attention because she's white.
Here's the thing, Jamel, before you had something to say, but anyways. Before Caitlin Clark, as I stated before, WNBA players were taking commercial flights from Priceline to get to their games. They didn't even have chartered private planes to get around. That will change, and I'll let you know how in a minute. But let's let Jamel Hill have her say.
Racism is often very one-sided. Caitlin Clark talks her. Caitlin Clark is demonstrative. Caitlin Clark, people aren't bothered by that. People aren't bothered by it because they're caught up in the narrative of, oh, here's this, wonderful, kind soul from the great state of Iowa representing Middle America. So they put all these sort of what happens in these sports race wars is everybody projects their own shit on the people coming.
And since we've seen Caitlin Clark play in the WNBA, we've seen more players concentrate on trying to take her out than outplay her.
Fair use, fair use. That's not fair use.
Fanny, on the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I
score.
answered no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
People are pulling up to games.
Okay, before we get to this young lady here, as you can see, Caitlin Clark and her team's not doing very well itself, but she was going to be receiving some rough treatment because she was stealing shine away from, well, WNBA players who never had it. Never had it. Who never had the shine themselves. Yes, the WNBA had a bit of notoriety, but it was a money-losing league. If it wasn't for, and I talked about this on Talk Live, if it wasn't for the NBA, the WNBA would be out of business. Let me repeat. If it wasn't for the NBA, the WNBA would be out of business. But you get ladies like this talking loud and proud saying that, they have a right to file and check, which in a certain way they do, if it doesn't go unpenalized against Caitlin Clark. They have a right to check. They have a right to knock her down. They have a right to foul her. And these are flagrant ones. These are in certain cases flagrant twos. But we're gonna get to the hypocrisy of this fouling in another sense in a bit. But let me let this happen here.
We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, and I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watch women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game.
So this is another player called Angel Reese, who I've heard is actually bearable to watch. And the eyes never lie, Chico. You can see how jealous she is, and you can see how personal that foul was.
And to be fair, it's a bit of a flop. Caitlin plays it up, but again, it's not here or there. But it's a blatant foul. It's a clear out. It's a blatant foul. She knows what she's doing, and she wants eyes on her. So she's going to do what it takes to get the eyes on her. She finally has the eyes on her, and now she's going to say how great she is, even though we never heard of her before Caitlin Clark came on the scene. But again, let's continue.
One thing, your rivals being jealous, but when it's your own teammates, you really got to start wondering what the fuck is going on.
Caitlin Clark's own teammates were being super disrespectful by sarcastically thanking her for showing up to the post-game press conference after she walked in when it had already started. And this is how you know the jealousy is real. And it is why some of the players on her own team won't pass her the ball, because the only reason she was late was because she stayed after the game to sign autographs for a bunch of kids. The only difference between the WNBA and college basketball is how scared these professionals are of getting burned by Caitlin, because they're face guarding her on inbounds even when the ball is way ahead of her. You've got girls forgetting that they need to shoot 2 free throws after getting fouled since they don't want the ball to get inbounded to Caitlin. The entire league is trying to injure her on dirty screens and fouls.
See, one of the reasons why this girl Caitlin Clark is actually good is because, like any top athlete, she's got an elite mentality. She's still cooking, she's still playing well, and she's not letting all this shit get the better of her.
Yeah, I think everybody.
Yeah, well, as you can see, WNBA players, they're the jealous type. They're the petty type. They don't like Caitlin signing autographs for a whole new audience, bringing new eyes to a league that badly needs it. They think that they should be Caitlin Clark. They shouldn't be thankful for what she's doing. They hate the fact that she's doing it. We have a comment here. Fouls happen all the time. Why is one foul so important? Well, it's not just one foul there, Lana. Thank you very much for the comment. It's not just one foul. It is many fouls. It is a blatant campaign to, injure, in certain cases, Caitlin Clark. And the fact of the matter is, as will be mentioned later on in this telecast and brought to light, the fact that, where are her teammates? Where are the people standing up for this star? You in the NBA, if a star is fouled, you are going to get hit up by an enforcer. You're going to get something on the head. You're going to get some retribution. Stars aren't allowed to be fouled. Even back in the day when the Jordan rules occurred, especially during the Detroit Pistons era. Listen, there's Charles Oakley on the other side saying, no, you ain't taking, we ain't playing that. We ain't standing for that. Here, take that, hit that. We're going to war. But no one's going to war for Caitlyn because they all want to be Caitlyn, unfortunately. But again, such is the pettiness that rules the WNBA and certain players. So let's continue.
Everybody's physical with me. They get away with things that, probably other people don't get away with. And it's tough, but that's just the fact of the matter is, like, this is a very physical game. You're going to get pressure. That's just professional basketball. So I think it is what it is, honestly.
Is that something that you expected going into the league? You said that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Caitlin Clark. She realizes that going into this league, she was going to be a target. There was a big target on her back, and everybody was going to take their shot. They were going to take their shot. She just keeps her head down, keeps playing because she knows that any sort of outcry, she's going to get it worse. She's going to get it 10 times worse. She's got to keep her head down, keep playing through, keep signing autographs, keep bringing in notoriety and eyeballs to a league that many have dismissed over 30 years. This is a 30-year league, people. It's never made a profit. She realizes that, if she has to be Jesus to this league, so be it. And she has to be a Messiah to this league, so be it. Because she's going to take the slings and arrows. She's going to be treated as our Lord and Savior would be with punches through Pontius Pilate, and she was going to get. Listen, if they crucified Jesus, they can get at Caitlin Clark. Simple as that. Let's continue. And shout out to her to keep her head down and keep playing, and knowing that it's going to be a rough road out there.
Perfect.
And you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't even care that much about the opinions of the other WNBA players who nobody gives a shit about when you've got real basketball legends backing her up and praising her game.
The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. Don't get it twisted. Don't get up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy, But I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills.
You women out there. Stop that right there. That was LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen. Next we'll drag in Judas. I got a few comments here saying, did we just bring Pontius Pilate to the discussion? Yes, we did. We brought Pontius Pilate to the discussion. Yes, indeed. Because Caitlin Clark is the messiah of the WNBA. Let's not kid ourselves. She's the reason why a lot of people are watching the game. Next, we'll drag in Judas. There are a lot of Judases out there. There are a lot of Judesses, and I do mean Judesses. They're trying their hardest to be Judas, but we'll call them Judesses for now because Lord knows we know the origin. We know their origin story quite simply from the Pink Mafia. Anyhow, but LeBron James said it the best. He had to walk that road. He was that number one rookie that everybody wanted to take their head off. And people took shots at him. But because LeBron was so big and so strong, you never really saw that. However, here, well, Caitlin is not exactly, the biggest and baddest basketball player out there. She's going to take hits and she's going to feel it. She's going to feel it. And, LeBron is there rooting for her. Shout out to LeBron James. He realizes that through Caitlin Clark, everyone will do better. She is the level raiser. She is the foundation to which all of those participating in WNBA shall benefit. And yet, she's going to get her fair share of negativity and bad treatment and bad fouls and literally just, ill-timed treatment. Let me see if there's any comments on the other side here as we go on. We're good? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, yes, let's go into it. We're back. Thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. You know what? And thank goodness for a man named Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley has been an NBA top 75 player. He has been a multi-time All-Star. He's an NBA Hall of Famer. He is, I would say, the biggest and best commentator on basketball on TV today. And you know what? He pulls no punches. So shout out to my man Charles. And this wonderful take, and I'm so glad that I got it in full here. I want to just let you hear what Charles had to say, if you haven't heard it already.
Oh, petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world. Oh, you are. Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. What she's accomplished, give her flowers. I'm being petty, all you women out there. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Can't help but watch.
Bring it back, bring it back. I want to hear that one more time for Charles. Charles ain't playing. Charles ain't lying. Charles is not lying.
I hope she kills.
I'm so glad Charles came out and said this. This is last week.
Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world. Oh, you are. Y'all should be.
Yes, you are, Charles. We're not that petty. Men aren't petty. Men aren't petty. No. We'll give it up to those who are better than us, but ladies can get petty. Lord knows, even her teammates are petty. They're pretty petties. Well, I don't know about pretty petties, but anyways, let's go.
Thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters.
True.
All the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA.
True.
What she's accomplished, give her flowers. I'm being petty, all you women out there. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. The amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into is a different energy. Great for her, great for women's basketball.
Now, there are some people.
Stop there for a second. If you don't recognize who that voice is, that's Steph Curry. That is Stephen Curry. The man whom Caitlin Clark modeled her game after. She literally goes out and said that you can pick up the coach yourself. She modeled her game after Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the game of basketball as we know it over the last 10 to 15 years. Instead of a league that was about post-ups, that was about, inside-outside game, and not so much emphasis on three-point shooting, Steph changed that game altogether with his three-point prowess. He's considered the best shooter in NBA history, if not in world history. One of the best shooters of all time. And Steph, real recognized real. Steph realized that Caitlin has a talent, has a wonderful talent, and it should be heralded. Let's see. Lana BK has a comment here. Ain't petty. Case in point, 50 Cent. Any year, his online trolling is like, 50 Cent is. He's Mr. Petty. I'll admit it. 50's Mr. Petty, but he has receipts. He does have method to his madness. He does pull up those who deserve to be called out. His pettiness is not based on non-truths, and his pettiness is not based on jealousy. His pettiness is based on the fact that he wants to bring certain players, entertainers, musicians to light that need to be, how should I say, named and shamed for their wrongdoings, including the aforementioned P. Diddy. Anyway, so let's get into this from Shannon Sharp.
For the last couple of weeks, and I ain't gonna call your name, but you're gonna see this, and I'm talking to you. What are they supposed to do? Let her score? They're trying to win. That's not basketball. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Instead of being like, man, more people are talking. More people. Think about it. The game that the Las Vegas Aces played against with Caitlin Clark, the tickets were triple. That a regular season game than what they were in the finals. Now you tell me what that is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Look where they're having to move the games to. They're moving games, putting them on big time situations.
Right.
You're jealous.
Stop there for a second. He's right. Instead of these games being played in front of small time audiences, the games are being moved into NBA stadiums now because of Caitlin Clark. Because, well, any game that she plays in, well, it's darn near a sellout. This is the first year in which the WNBA will make money. I've already said. This is the first year they will make actual money. They'll not have to beg their NBA brethren, please spare me a few dimes and let me go out and trick out, as they say. They won't have to ask their man for money. They got their own money now. Okay, the WNBA has finally had her own. The WNBA has its own money now. They don't have to ask their man for money. Their man being the NBA, of course. But still, you still need your man. Anyways, so let's call it bluntly. The WNBA needs to protect its stars, and its biggest star, Caitlin Clark. You can't allow people to come up and try to take this girl's head off. Michael Jordan, God love him, the GOAT. Even David Stern knew that, okay, they're going to try and take his head off, but at a certain time, we're going to have to start suspending these guys because they're taking our golden goose away. The WNBA has to start suspending some of these players for trying to take this lady's head off simply out of jealousy. I cannot believe I'm sticking up for this league, but I am, because quite simply, Caitlin Clark needs protection. She needs protection. And I don't know where her teammates are, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's get into this.
Is actually making the WNBA bearable to watch. She's actually a good player to watch. These players should be thanking her. She's bringing in more revenue, more eyes, more fans. It's going to help them. And I'm not saying for them not to compete and to put her on a pedestal. They should treat her like any other opponent. But what they're doing now is not basketball. They're trying to take the girl out.
Look at this. Jealous, petty.
They're just creating a monster. Because usually what happens
More
with
often
these
than
top
not,
athletes
black
is it makes
ladies
them pissed
want
off
to
and it
take
makes them
this
better. I hope
this
she
straight white
succeeds.
girl
I hope
out.
she can throw it back all in their faces, and I hope she gets a huge contract that pays her a lot more than the rest of these muppets that don't sell any tickets. It's reasons like this that people don't like the WNBA. It's not because they're women. It's because they do dumb shit like this. It's like the comedian Bill Burr said, these women would rather tear each other down and still cry complaining while collecting their NBA subsidies.
Well said there, Rocco. Thank you very much there, Rocco. Fair use for his wonderful... He's on the diverted hated list. He's actually... They consider him a male supremacist. Ladies and gentlemen. He's on the male supremacist list, but yet he praises a lady like Caitlin Clark. Listen, real recognizes real. Great recognizes great. And... we'd be fools not to recognize that Caitlin Clark is doing wonders for the WNBA, but the alphabet gang don't like her. And black women don't like her. They just don't like her. They don't like her. Well, anyways, nonetheless, we move on from there. So let's go into, we got a few comments here. Yes, indeed. Let's get into a few more views here. Yeah, we got a few more views coming into this because, again, we're going to listen to Valuetainment. Now, Valuetainment is a conservative YouTube channel. that speaks on views. But even they had to take have a take on Caitlin Clark here. They wouldn't usually discuss women's sports, but in this case, it cannot be denied that this woman is a phenomenon and needs to be heralded and focused on to the best of her ability. So we have this white BITCH heated debate over Caitlin Clark bullied and stealing WNBA spotlight on Valuetainment. And this happened today as well. Shout out to Valuetainment doing wonderful things YouTube streets. Like and subscribe. Let's get into this. Oh, you gotta shut off here. Sorry.
Market reacting to this. So this video is Caitlin's about to get the inbound pass, and then she gets fouled. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go for it.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
And look at her teammates on the sides.
Big time content as the officials are going to take a look at what just transpired between Carter and Clark.
That's a dirty foul. That's not a basketball play, but it's a dirty foul,
I mean,
right?
that's clearly
and so you see this. You can stop it, Rob, right there. And then the whole NBA reacts to it. And yesterday on First Take, there was this lady on First Take yesterday upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years. And she's calling him out. And it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
Talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about...
Are you kidding me? In this Me Too era, are you kidding me? Even Shannon Sharp had to wipe his brow for a bit. Look at the puzzled face on Stephen A.'s face. Are you kidding me? If anybody has to do a dance in this day and age, it's men. But it's okay. We need to herald women now because, listen, believe all women, right? Let's continue this.
The world's greatest.
How about being a black man?
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. So this is what I'm saying to y'all though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there. Maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. When you no. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A., I know you just shared that you've talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
But here's the thing that you're not getting from this conversation is the fact that she wanted us to see the WNBA 3 years ago. She wanted us, the sports buying public, to take a look at the NBA 3 years ago because they were doing such great things. Unless you are a basketball enthusiast, the WNBA is where you just wait for mistakes. I'll say that right now. It's not you see athletic prowess, but not as much as you see in the NBA. It's not a place of spectacular play. It's of great athletic ability, of great fundamentals, yes. However, spectacular plays, no. And if you're not bringing spectacular plays to a viewing audience, quite simply, you're not going to get eyes on your game. The WNBA have never done that. But as has been said here by the young lady, despite all that, we should have noticed this 3 years ago. No, we're not. Shaq told you 3 years ago to lower the basketball net. Candace Parker laughed at him, saying that you will not let your... One day her daughter will be 6'10", 6'11", and she'll be able to dunk a ball. You know what? With that sort of mentality, well, you get what you get. And here we are. But luckily, Caitlin Clark is bringing shine to your game, and yet... Okay, fine. She's going to have to take the bumps and the bruises, but at the end of the day, she's an asset that must be protected. Let's continue.
Could I say something? Oh,
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talks about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow, look at this.
3 years ago, look at the face. Look at Stephen A's face. Look at the whole face. Is like you could have been doing this 3 years ago. What gives you the God-given right that we should be even looking at your game right now? You have to earn your audience, but yet you want us to give you charity again. We've been giving. The NBA has been giving charity to the WNBA like it's going out of style, and yet she wants... Entitlement is blind to those who have it. Here we go again. She's saying that she should have got free publicity for a game that nobody cared about 3 years ago. Only women can do this. Only women can do this. Only women could do this, man. I tell you what, sheer, utter entitlement. No man worth his salt would ever relate to this, because if you're not a money-making venture, nobody's going to get a look at you. And then you're asking for free publicity now. That's the most asinine of comments. You haven't even earned that right, but it should have been given to you. But again, we talk about this on Talk Live every night. Steve, please answer her.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So you can pause it right there. You can pause it right there.
So, but, okay, well, first of all, okay, she's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist? If that was a white girl, and
white supremacy.
A black rookie, what would have happened? By the way,
White supremacy.
Pat McAfee, Pat McAfee yesterday called Caitlin a white bitch.
Right.
He said,
"Do you have that clip, Rob?"
Yeah, why are you looking it up? He said,
but it was in a different context. That's the way he talked.
He said, what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There's a superstar. He said, and this is what he said. Hold on a second. I would like the media. This rookie class.
Go ahead and play the clip.
Go ahead, Rob.
Got it. But look at the context.
I don't know. With my eyes,
Clay
I couldn't
Travis
see if she's Caucasian
wasn't too
or
happy
not.
about this.
So I think what we're trying to say is what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There is a superstar. And we're not saying that the players on the court need to act any differently. That's the athletes are going to do what athletes are going to do in any sport. And I think we're all learning that WNBA, that's old school football, baby. That is old school football. But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class, not. Just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple-year success story? Is it because she would go on to break the entire points records in the history of the NCAA? Not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well. Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went
Making
for?
a very good argument.
But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white. And she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. And we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special.
You can pause it
and
right
we're
there,
lucky.
Rob. She is special. She's
Great points raised there by Pat McAfee. But I say this. Yes. Yes, indeed. Because of Caitlin Clark's attributes, there are going to be more eyes on her. There are going to be more people looking into the game. She is from the Midwest. She is straight. She has a boyfriend. She speaks to so many of those who have been ostracized from the WNBA. And she's going to bring new eyes to it. But as has been said before and will be said again, who cares? Who cares those new fans are? The fact of the matter is they have new fans. Because of Caitlin Clark, other players will get noticed. Because of Caitlin Clark, the average salary will rise. Because of Caitlin Clark, a league that never made money will finally make money. What's wrong with that? You know what the most important color is in the WNBA? Green. And finally, they're going to start making some. Finally, they're going to step outside of the shadows of their men. That being the NBA. And they're going to be a league of their own. To borrow from a movie. What's wrong with that? We're going to finally see an independent league. What's wrong with that? She could be black, she could be white, she could be anything. And I'll let Peter Bet David explain further of how this has happened in other sports, other people, and yet not a word of such controversies were brought out. Let's continue.
Do you remember when we were in here, we were talking, Adam, and we were talking about her first game and how it wasn't going to be, I don't know who was it, it might have been you, Adam. I was like, it's not going to be packed and it's going to keep on going. Did you guys see the audience when she got bumped? That shit is packed. She is making a change.
Record-breaking attendance.
Record-breaking. Yeah. And I hate this. Guys, they always go to freaking race because she's white. No, she's nasty. The same thing with Eminem when you see people that are like, I'm not going to put him in the top 10. What are you, nuts? Eminem, I don't give a shit about his color. He is nasty lyrically. So you can't, again with the...
Okay, all right, we know about Eminem. But yeah, listen, he's top 5 of all time. Let's continue with this.
Race situation is
he's
like,
top 5 all time.
This girl has pumped life into the WNBA, which nobody was talking about the WNBA just in a joking manner. She has made the WNBA and they hate it. What's the girl, PBD? The number 1 draft of last year. Was it last year?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was talking crap about her. She's like, it's not just her. What about me? The most selfish interview. You have that one, Rob? I think I might have sent it to you. I actually did. She's.
You heard that interview. And she did say that. And it is jealousy personified. Yes. It is jealousy personified, and I don't know why. You should be happy a lady stepped into the league is going to raise your average salary. You're lucky a cash cow stepped up to the plate finally after 30 years. And you were there to reap the benefits. So who gives a shit? Let's continue.
She's pissed off because they're not, she's like, it's not just about one player. It's about me too. And it's like, wait, time out. Nobody, I haven't even seen it yet. This is the aftermath.
Started from the national championship game. And
Here
I've been
again.
doing this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role.
It's not because of one single game, it's because of one single player. It's never been about one single game. Sorry, Angel Reese. Nope. Never been about one single game. It's about one single player. And it ain't you.
Take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Well, technically, no, because that's BS.
You know what? You got to see the way she walks to Rob. While he's staying to stop, find a clip that I just.
Because think about PBD. You know what she did when the girl got elbowed. Yeah. She's cheering and celebrating. That's why they're going to talk about you. They're talking about the girl, that white bitch that is nasty. They're only talking about. By the way, have you even thought of any WNBA game in the past?
Never.
Especially with this
watch
girl.
The way she walks. This may change your mind. Just be patient. Just watch
this one.
What the fuck is going on here, man?
That's her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. Reese has a quite interesting stadium walking sequence where she does the slut walk. Yeah, she walks in there with the slut walk. She's 6'4" in heels. She's about 6'7", but she does the slut walk, people, because she wants to put eyes on her. But she ain't jealous, right? Well, yeah, come on, let's see this.
That's how I walk when I have high heels when I'm doing sketches as a trans. That's how I walk.
I'm just gonna. There you go, Governor of Florida.
Yeah, every time she walks into the NBA stadium, she has to have that, how the attire says it all, ladies and gentlemen. Because she wants eyes on her. And what do women of the Instagram age do? They take off clothing so they can put eyes on themselves. She wants to be a baddie. See? She wants to be a baddie, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't want her game to speak. She wants her heels to speak. Her short skirt to speak. Her crop top to speak. But they'll never remember her game. But they'll remember what she represents.
Adam.
Go ahead,
Governor,
Adam.
that was a good one. Tom's Love before. It's actually funny. I've just been biding my time out here. Guys, enjoy the next, few days of giving a F about the WNBA. I'm going to let you guys in on a dirty little secret. This company, this corporation called the WNBA is not profitable. They don't make money. They've never made money. They're fully subsidized by their daddy, the NBA. The NBA generates $10 billion.
Now that may change this year. That may change this year. We'll see about the receipts. But that may change this year because of one woman. Let's continue.
$1 billion a year, and they basically give tzedakah or tithing to the WNBA. They say, all right, you look good. And I'm all for girls doing their thing, playing sports, okay. But they don't put what you call at the big event butts in seats. And I get they're just shoving Caitlin Clark down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great, they're gonna market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole. But don't get it twisted. Nobody cares about the WNBA. Nobody watches WNBA. I challenge any one of you to name 5 players who play in the WNBA.
I don't know the 5 teams.
There you go.
I don't even know the team.
What team does Caitlin Clark even play for?
That's your point, though, bro. And by
My
the way,
point is, this is all fabricated. This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
The fact that we're even talking about, I respect it. It's a non-story. She's in the greater context of sports, she's a nobody.
You really think?
Enjoy her shine right now.
You don't. Adam,
but this is a non-story.
So you don't.
So hold on, just before I say that, you know what? And that is the prevailing opinion of the WNBA. Just because Caitlin Clark got here, just because you're starting to make money now, that this will be a passing phase and it'll fade into existence, fade into non-existence. The fact of the matter is, it is up to you ladies out there who are within the sound of my voice to keep such an idea in non-existence. If anybody's the core audience for the WNBA must be the ladies. Ladies, I talked about this to my girlfriend, and I know you need help from men, but the fact of the matter is you make up over half of any population anywhere in the industrialized world. If there's anybody who needs to make a change and get to WNBA games, it's you. It can't be men of a certain age that is its biggest constituency in terms of attendance. Women have got to get out there. They're starting to get out there through Caitlin Clark, but it has to continue. Or else Adam Sosnick, the man who made that last comment, will be right. We'll be right. Not only you got to drag yourselves out there, you got to drag your men out there. Oh, I want to go see the WNBA. Oh, well, it's going to take a huge push to get them out there. But the fact of the matter is, you ladies got to go. You got to go. You got to support your teams wherever those cities are and wherever Caitlin Clark goes, because that's what's going to put more butts. You got to put more butts in seats, which will bring more eyes to the game, which will bring more profits to the game, which will make your league more sustainable going forward. If anybody's got to grow this game, it's the ladies. Let's continue.
I think she has like literally put life into WNBA. Yeah, we're talking about it right now, but I don't think she's going anywhere. And I think she is going to literally turn this thing around, not because of the stupid controversial bump, but bro, people are selling out to watch this girl play.
Look, people love celebrity, and they love to watch achievement, and they love to see these new personalities.
Okay, I'm going to move past this because this guy's...
when I was in high school,
let's continue with this.
Golf.
Masters to the left.
Thank you. Hold on. This is what I want you to see right here.
Quick, okay, so check this out. This is major golf TV rating history, okay?
Golf.
Masters to the left, PGA US Open British.
Let's go see what happened in 1989.
Let's focus on Masters, okay? Look what numbers you see, 9.5, 5.6 million. No one's really watching it, right? 10.8, 13 million. Okay, now go all the way down. Tom, we got it, Tom. Glad you're directing here. Go to the first year where he comes in. 1997. Bingo.
Oh!
20.3 million. It goes up from 12.4 to 20.3 million. What's the point here? One person can change the game, and Tiger...
Is that when Tiger came in?
That's when Tiger came in.
Yeah.
Stop that right there. I want you all to see that sink in. How one person can make a difference. Tiger Woods is the biggest name in golf. Still is. Despite the controversy, despite the miniseries, despite all of this dirt strewn on his name, he's still the number one name in golf. And you can see it through the numbers. The PGA has never, ever had numbers like when Tiger Woods was in his prime. Never. They've never come back to it. Let's go back. I'll just put this on mute for a moment, and I'll let you see the numbers for yourself. Here we go. Let's go back. There it is. 2021, 595 for the Masters. PGA 39 million, 66 million, 32, 57, 25, and 41 in terms of viewers. Look at the viewers. 4.1, 5.7, 6.6, 9.5. I'll let this run without the sound. Take a look at the numbers and how they increase as the years go further back to the advent of things in 1997, when a certain Eldrick Tiger Woods jumped on the scene. The game has never been the same. Mr. Knight, the owner of Nike at the time, followed Tiger on every hole of his 1997 Masters final round, to a point where he could sign him to a multi-year, and I do mean multi-year, over 10-year deal. He was with Nike for at least 20 years. Because of this. Look at those numbers. And they have never been the same since. When Tiger Woods took over golf. That is what the WNBA is praying for. You have a comment from Lounge BK saying, Caitlin doesn't even make $80K a year. Yeah, she doesn't make $80K a year. But what she does make is a whole lot of money in endorsements. I think she has a $120 million deal with Nike. Oh, she won't make her numbers through the WNBA. No, she's going to get an average salary for the WNBA. What she will make money from is from her endorsements, including Nike, who have a multi-year deal with her. I think it's a $120 million deal with Nike. They're going to develop her own shoe, seeing a new audience. It's hoped that she will have the same impact of a Tiger Woods. I doubt it, but one can dream. Let's continue with this.
20.3 million. It goes up from 12.4 to 20.3 million. What's the point here? One person can change the game, and Tiger.
Is that when Tiger came in?
That's when Tiger came in. Tiger
Well, he brought
became
a whole new audience.
He brought a whole new audience.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Caitlin Clark is doing. So how many people did he make rich? By the way, if you ask me, pre-1997, how many...
When they say cash cow, they're meaning Tiger Woods, ladies and gentlemen, because he was the original cash cow. He was the original cash cow. We have a comment here on YouTube here. Why wouldn't you want to support women's sports? Oh, well, you know what? A very good question. Why wouldn't I want to support women's sports? Because the same athleticism is invisible in women's sports. I wait for the mistakes. If you're talking about ice hockey, I wait for the mistakes. If you're talking about basketball, I wait for the mistakes. If you're talking about soccer, aka football, I wait for the mistakes. I never have to wait for the mistakes. I wait for the great plays, as there would be in women's sports, but I wait for great plays more often than not in men's sports. I wait for great plays. I wait for great moments. There are too many mistakes being made in women's play and not so much in men's play. If you ever had to see a very good question there from the one and only Sophia. Thank you very much for that, Sophia. But that is why I don't focus on women's sports so much. Because I wait for the mistakes. Somebody's going to make a mistake, and that's going to change the game. I don't change the game through a spectacular play, more often than not. Well, it's half and half. Half of the time you wait for a spectacular play, and half of the time, more than half of the time, you wait for a mistake. Somebody's going to make a mistake. And somebody's going to pay, somebody's going to win, and somebody's going to lose off of that mistake. It happens in every women's sport. Unfortunately. That's why I don't watch. When I watch men's games, when I watch men's sports, I wait for the spectacular. More often than not. So that's why I don't watch women's sports so much. Until the spectacular play outnumber the mistakes, I'll start tuning in more. If there's one, okay, I'll give you one example of when spectacular plays actually outnumber the mistakes. And that is women's hockey. Women's hockey. That's when I know spectacular plays are going to outnumber the mistakes. Especially when Canada meets the USA. That's probably the height, and I do mean the height, of women's sports. Of women's team sports, that is. That's when I'll start tuning in. But again, that level of hockey has been in existence for at least 10 to 20 years. Where you're getting a great level of hockey. You're not going to get that same level, let's say, in the women's the Women's Super League in soccer. Or the WNBA in basketball. You're not going to get that. We have a few comments here. Would you still have this stance on... Oh, wow. What happened there? Okay, sorry about that. That just disturbed me for a bit. But thank you for the comment, the one and only Sophia. Would you still have this stance on waiting on mistakes if your daughter was playing? And also, many shooting percentage are under... many NBA shooting guard percentage are under 30%. But here's the thing about the NBA shooting guard percentages. Of course, you're going to... Listen, you're going to have a 30... Listen. A very good point raised by Lana BK. Thank you very much for that. Or is that Steve Tease? Was that Steve Tease or Lana BK? That was Steve Tease. Okay. The thing about... There's going to be hits and misses. But the fact of the matter is you're not going to shoot... Like, the ball's going to hit a rim. Or like, every time you get an air ball. But that's rare and few and far between. In WNBA, it's a rare... It's an actual... frequent occasion. Let's say in women's soccer, let's say in women's football, you may get a flub here and there, but you're guaranteed, let me say this again, you are guaranteed a mistake in women's soccer. A guarantee that's going to change the game in women's soccer. That's why I don't watch it so much. Yes, there will be some great plays, but more often than not, a game's going to be decided on a mistake. You just wait for the mistakes. There it is. Done. Now, in answer to your question, what I wait on, well, listen, if it's my daughter, listen, it's a kid's sport. Of course you're going to see the mistakes. But you don't mind that because they're kids. You don't... The fact of the matter is, you're dealing with professionals here who are paid good money to make mistakes. Baseball is, okay, perfect example. Baseball is a game of swings, misses, and, well, your chances of success, especially when you're at bat, are below 30% on average. But the fact of the matter is, you can sprinkle in spectacular plays at least 2 or 3 times a game, and great skill at least 4 or 5 times a game in men's sports. Guaranteed. And that is going to win you a game. Not so much when it comes to certain female sports. It's not. I challenge you to watch any sort of World Cup soccer match involving women. Women's World Cup soccer. Or women's Super League. Have a look at that. Or have a look at any women's league. I always say to myself, there's going to be a mistake. I'm waiting for it. There it is. There it is. Game over. That changed the game. That's why I'm not a fan of women's sports so much. But I am a fan, I'll say this. I am a fan of women's hockey because that level of hockey, especially when it comes to Canada and the United States, is probably the highest level of women's team sports there is. Because there's a minimum amount of mistakes, and it's usually decided on a pretty darn good play. We have another comment here for Steve's Tease. That means, let me see. That means men's players miss more than they get it? Yes, of course, but the fact of the matter is you sprinkle in spectacular plays. That's what highlight reels are about. There's a reason why there are so many there are men's highlight reels and not so many women's sports highlight reels. Oh, here's the They're starting to do that with the WNBA, but even then it's like, really? With men's highlight reels, they make half-hour to hour segments on, well, not only our missed plays, but also our spectacular plays, and they way outnumber anything done in women's leagues. Chanel has a comment. Oh, we getting it in now. Okay, let's go. This is what I'm talking about. Let's do it. Let's talk about Joseph Erica's, what's that? Let's talk of Joseph's Erica Joseph. Okay. Don Joseph got every, David Joseph got every Joseph scholarship. Okay, you got to flesh that out for me. 70% missing isn't great odds. Well, here's the thing. You got to sprinkle in spectacular plays. Let's say, okay, let's talk about baseball. You're going to miss 70% of the time when you're hitting, but the fact of the matter is you're dealing with one of the most difficult skills in sports, period. And that is hitting a tiny ball like this, coming at you at 90 to 100 miles an hour that can dip and move at any time. It's like literally having a ball come like this and then somebody doing this. And coming at you like this and then somebody doing that. But you're supposed to hit it. And supposed to do it within a 2 to 3 second time frame. That's one of the hardest skills in sports to do. So guess what? The chances of success are that much less. But guess what happens next? When you're sitting out there and you're seeing that ball going in the air, somebody's flying around to make a catch. Or someone's grabbing over a fence to make a catch. Or someone hits a big home run. Or somebody reaches over and foul territory to get a ball. There's always this spectacular sprinkled in. Let's go into the NBA. Yes, you're going to get men shooting at a 30 to 40% clip. But guess what you're going to get? You're going to get dunks. You're going to get blow-bys. You're going to get great shooting. You're going to get spectacular plays. This is exactly what Shaq was complaining about. lower the NBA rim, but Candace Parker didn't want that because she wanted her daughter to grow to be 6'11". That's never going to happen. The majority of the league is not going to be 6'11". The majority of the league is not going to be able to dump a ball. I've already featured this on Talk Live. You know how many times a ball was dunked in WNBA history for the last 30 years? You can count it on 2 sets of 10 fingers. Over 30 years. The spectacular is not part of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And until it is, you'll get more eyes on WNBA. Or you need a cash cow like Caitlin Clark. Oh my goodness, they're just flying in with these messages saying, you ain't right any... let me see, what's this now? You ain't right. Anything a guy could do, a girl could do. Well, listen, we can go with the battle of the sexes, but really, I mean, I'm going to feature a segment coming soon. Thank you very much for the comments, Chanel and Steve's Tees. I'm going to feature a segment in which this commentator, Tommy Sotomayor, who I saw yesterday on Fresh and Fit, I would say the best Fresh and Fit yet. Yes, I know women don't like Fresh and Fit. I get it. But the fact of the matter is, this is the first time I saw ladies who surrounded the panel. If you don't know who Fresh and Fit is, you should get to know, because on YouTube, they're pretty much superstars right now. And it's a panel of ladies talking about a male-female intersexual dynamics. And I have never seen a group of women silent listening to a guy like Tommy Sotomayor, who literally said, think of one thing that a woman could do better than a man. And the women can only say childbirth. Well, of course, it's a part of your reproductive cycle and because of your body's extension. So anybody, if you have that skill or you have a uterus in which to do it, you're going to be better than anybody else. But other than that, there's not many, if anything, and I would say if anything, that a woman could do that a man could do better. But again, that's the battle of the sexes. I don't want to get into that. I'm getting away from the things. I've got more comments here. Nathan Kissy says, how often do you get to watch women's sports to give an opinion? I watch it regularly. I'd rather watch it regularly. Thank you very much, Nathan Kissy. I watch women's soccer a lot. I watch women's hockey a lot. A lot of the team sports I tend to watch. I do watch a little women's softball. I do watch a tiny bit of women's basketball because I wait for the mistakes. But women's hockey, the two things I do watch regularly, women's hockey and women's soccer, football, because that's my favorite sport. So I do watch it regularly, yes. Yes. I do watch. So don't think I don't. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a fan of women's sports, all the power to you. But at the end of the day, I wait for the mistakes. I do. I wait for the mistakes. I'm sorry. It's just me. Let's get back into this. But thank you very much for the comments, guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight, live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate all the comments that are coming in. This is great. This is a spectacular show and something that needs to be discussed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if she is part of the Red Planet. If she's bringing eyes to the WNBA, praise her. Praise Caitlin Clark. I don't care if she is a white I don't care where she's from or who she. The fact of the matter is, she's bringing in eyes and ears from a constituency who didn't care. From a constituency who did not care. Middle America. Sometimes you got to give Jacqueline her jacket. So, all hail Caitlin Clark. Until you can get another Tiger Woods, ladies, have at it. Let's get back into it here on Talk Live. Yes, indeed. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get back into this here. And then we're going to get into Tommy Sotomayor and his funny take. You know what? I'm going to let this run for a little bit longer.
I knew. The only reason I knew Lee Trevino is because he was the most expensive golf cart. It's the only reason. I've never watched Lee Trevino play.
Yeah.
I had his golf cart, and everybody would brag about it. And he had I'm telling
Lee
you.
Trevino.
And then he joins. He gets into it. You're like, what is this all about? You had Middle Easterns on the freaking golf course.
Lee Trevino is a Mexican-American golfer. A very good one at that. A very, very good one at that. Still alive today, 84 years old. Claudia Trevino and Claudia Farley, 94, 83. Lee Trevino is one of the best known golfers of all time. And totally spectacular guy. He said, don't talk. Well, listen, we got to talk race here. We got to talk race on. Thank you very much for your comment, Chanel. We got to talk race here because at the end of the day, this is what it's come down to. They say Caitlin Clark, because she's white, is the reason why WNBA is doing so well. And the reason why everybody's starting to look at the WNBA. So I got to change my spotlight here. Okay. Race plays a part in this whole discussion. So I can't avoid it, unfortunately. I can't avoid it. But thank you very much for the comment nonetheless. All right. Let's continue with this.
They don't belong on a golf course.
But they were hanging on the sand.
Yeah.
They were in the sand the whole time.
Spending time on the sand, having like some real nice coffee and stuff. But well, what's the point? I think what Kate. By the way, I still haven't watched the game. So your point, the fact that I haven't watched it, I haven't watched it. The only thing I'm curious about, which you said when we had the conversation a couple months ago, guys, she's going to make nothing. She's going to make the minimum wage. Great.
She makes $73,000 a year, but her contract with Nike.
But it's going to change. It's going to change because they had more people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers. Did you hear about this? When you get people butts in seats, pay for people changes, cash flow changes. So you're right. But there's one thing that she does that's duplicatable. Okay, so check this out. To me, it's not just shoots the ball. Who's the most? Who in the last 10 years? Let's not even say 10 years. What year are we? 2024. In the 2010 to 2019, that decade. Okay, who was the most exciting player to watch in the NBA?
What decade was it?
From 2010-11 till 2020. LeBron. Who was the most exciting player?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe or LeBron?
You know who I would say to me number one?
For 2010?
Exciting?
Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah, Steph Curry.
Let me tell you.
Steph Curry,
Let me tell you. Honestly, I'm telling you, because Steph was doing something that seemed impossible. LeBron is 6'8", 260. You're like, okay, that makes sense. Are you telling me this guy's shooting the ball, turning around and walking off? What is this all about? And he did it in the All-Star game, and he walks off. And then Nick Young tried to do it, and it didn't go. And I think John Wall tried to do it. He couldn't go.
PBD. I never.
Now you know who Caitlin Clark patterned her game off of. Now you know. It was Steph Curry. There you go. Now you got her origin story. She saw Steph Curry shoot balls and walk away, and she said, "Oh, let me try that." Oh well. We got another comment here. Actually, I'd be on your side because I think Erica will be in the WNBA. Well, listen, it's gonna take the ladies to bring the WNBA to notoriety. Ladies, if you are saying that you are earning more dollars than ever before, then you have more disposable income at your disposal than ever before, start supporting your sports. Start getting out to these stadiums and start watching these games. You don't need men. You say you never needed men. Well, here's one way you can make that tell true. Get out to a WNBA game. Get out to a Women's Super League game. Get out to I think there's going to be a women's soccer league coming to North America very soon in 2025. Get out to those games. Start supporting your sports. Because men's sports weren't going to reach the levels they do today without men going. Turnabout is fair play. You see a team you want to support in your area, support them. Not everybody supports baseball. Guess what I do? I pay my $20 or how much it is. It can go up to $150, $160. I get my ass to the game. Because it's through my support that I No, this game will keep thriving. I went to 2 Premier League matches this past year. It took me about $3,000-$4,000. You know what? I would not change that for the world because the actual experience could not be matched. It's time for women to support their games. And there are more games than ever before now. It's on you. You want to be you want to be single, independent, and no need no man? Support it in the sports. How's that? Yes, indeed. What's it now? And I have been on the Scarborough Shooting Stars WNBA on Saturday. Good, ladies. I fully support you getting out and support these teams. There's a reason why. Here's the thing. WNBA team is going to be in Toronto in 2025. You know where they're playing out of? The Coca-Cola Coliseum. Because no one's willing to take a risk on losing money in the WNBA. Listen, every franchise has. Every franchise has. So what are they going to do? They're going to put in a smaller venue. They're going to try and grow their audience. And then they're going to try and get into the big venues. Simple as that. So, you want to get into Scotiabank Arena? Start supporting the games. There it is. Let's continue with this.
I'm going to cut you off. You see what you just did there?
What?
You just named 6 NBA players without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
John Wall did this,
No, but
and then
that's
Nick Young
not-
did
that's
that,
not-
Swaggy P.
What I'm saying to you is, I'm making the case study of Steph. Well, not Steph. I'm sorry, Caitlin.
He's
with
relatable.
Tiger. And all I'm saying to you is, you related to Tiger, military, like military daddy. Like, okay, you related to like, are you kidding me? You're not supposed to be this big person that can. This is that duplicatable, and then you're this electrifying. No, within 3, 6, 12 months, we're gonna see if this is just a fluke or if it's real or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
We're 100% on the same page there. I'm with you, 100%. The best clip of what I thought who gave the best feedback on this Caitlin Clark thing, and it's so evergreen to every industry. Go to Valuetainment's. Actually, matter of fact, I think I texted it to you. Go to Valuetainment's Twitter account. If you can go to Valuetainment's Twitter account and find, you got to go down.
Okay, we're going to get into that a little later. So we're going to leave Valuetainment right now. Thank you very much to Valuetainment for their take on things. But I want you to listen to this. Now, how should I do this? Tommy Sotomayor. So what I'm going to do is this. I am going to how am I going to do this? Can I play it minimizing it? Maybe they can. Yes. Oh, well, yeah, that's going to minimize everything. Okay. I may not play Tommy Sotomayor's end because, again, I think he's banned on YouTube. So that's the reason why he's on Rumble, so I can't play that. So what I will do is this. I will go straight ahead because I don't want to take the copyright strike because I've already got one. I don't want another. So let me go to a man who indeed we haven't heard from yet and deserves to be mentioned because he's pretty much the biggest voice box in North American sports, and that is Stephen A. Smith. And he has a huge take on Caitlin Clark. And he went on with his rant yesterday because he was slightly pissed off at her treatment within the WNBA ranks. And, he wanted to sound off about it. So I'm going to let Stephen A. Smith let loose, quite simply. Because I don't want, because Tommy Sotomayor, as good as he is, unfortunately not allowed on YouTube. So if this was just an IG telecast, then yes, I would play it. But since I've just come off my YouTube ban, I don't want to tempt fate, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So anyways, I got a few comments here. I think, no, we got one comment. Sorry about that. There we go. And, hold on. Let's just get this out of here. Yes, okay. We have a comment here from Lana BK. Their public statement said it was because a lot of families are coming who would drive over taking public transit. So taking the team out of downtown makes more sense. Yes, indeed. You're right. Well, actually, Coca-Cola Coliseum is technically downtown. It's just in the outskirts of downtown. It's on the CNE ground, so it's technically downtown Toronto. Plus, it's very near to public transit. But you know what also is very near to public transit? Scotiabank Arena. So it's all about numbers at the end of the day. So thank you very much for your comment, Lana BK. Thank you so much. That was great. But we need to see something in the black before we allow them to go back to Scotiabank Arena. Maybe they get the odd game or two. But again, let's let this play here from Stephen A. Smith. And I'll let this is a spectacular rant by speaking to Stephen A. Smith as of yesterday. All these things are new. All these things are coming in fast, thick and fast in the last 24 hours. That's how current this topic is and how big this. Well, it's not really a big controversy, but still, it's something that's rattling a few changes within the public domain. So let's get into this with Stephen A. Smith and his rant on the treatment of Caitlin Clark. Oh, happened again. Jesus.
People out their names, or especially people that I love, like the person I'm about to talk about in a few minutes. But certain things need to be corrected for the record, because certain things people are just ill-informed about. And the publications that grab the headlines and try to manipulate things and make things seem as if there's something that they're not. I understand that some folks are desperate for clickbait. That's how they do it. They don't care about accuracy. They just care about talking shit and not knowing what the hell they're talking about. So I'm here for it. And that's fine, because that's one of the reasons I'm in good shape, because I don't hold stuff inside all the time and let stuff foment, and ultimately an implosion takes place. And I'm the one that suffers because I'm unhealthy. No, I believe, and as I've said this to family and friends throughout my life, I believe the best form of stress relief is reciprocation. When people stress
Okay, let's move it on a bit here, because he's just grandstanding.
Fever rookie was fouled Saturday night by Chicago Sky guard Kennedy Carter on an inbounds play. The foul was later upgraded to a flagrant 1 violation after league review the very next day. Fever head coach Christy Side said she's been sending plays to the league for review when asked about the treatment of her star rookie. The play itself and overall treatment of Clark has had social media buzzing. We've all been buzzing about it, okay? But there was another individual that was buzzing about it for a different reason, and that's my boy Matt Barnes from the All the Smoke podcast. He weighed in on it this weekend, and before I do anything, I want to show you what he had to say. Check out his thoughts.
There's a hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the Sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. She's not the first. She won't be the last. My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star. I was someone who protected the stars. You fuck with Kobe, CP, Blake, list goes on. It's going to be a problem, because you guys are supposed to be a family. And you wonder why you sit at the bottom of the league right now is because y'all don't protect each other, man. Coach don't do shit about it. Players don't do shit about it. Y'all should be ashamed of it. But the rest of the league is going to continue to test her. And that's what they're supposed to do. It's your guys' fucking job to have her back and have each other's back. Got to do better, ladies.
I 1,000%.
Stop right there before Stephen gets his thoughts out. That's the one difference between men and women's sports. If your star is fouled, if your star player is fouled, especially in North American team sport, if your star is fouled, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight. We've known this from time immemorial. In hockey, when Wayne Gretzky used to get clipped at every beck and turn because he was the cash cow back then, guess who was right there? Dave Semenko, a big bear of a dude ready to knock someone's block off. Say, you take a run at my star again, and I'm going to make sure that you ain't coming back. The same thing with basketball. When Michael Jordan was running the league, guess who was his protector? Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley would move like a heat-seeking missile at anybody who tried. Even the bad boys, he would move like a heat-seeking missile to try and take someone's head off. Same thing in the league we have today in terms of the NFL. You see a Pat Mahomes. If anybody's taking a run at Pat Mahomes, guess what? That whole offensive line is on your ass. What makes you so different, WNBA? I'll tell you what makes you so different. Jealousy makes you different. Jealousy not only from the opponents, but from the teammates themselves. They'll let people take runs at their stars. When men realize that you must protect your stars. If you're a teammate, if you're a team, if you're a family, you don't let your star players get run at. And that's exactly what that comment just made there. Makes you think. It makes you think that where is the protection of a star? Why are you allowing these? And it's simply because hate runs deep, as my man Socrates used to say. Hate runs deep. Not only from your opponents, but from your teammates. You saw how they treated her in the press conference. Those were her teammates. Said, thanks for coming out. Are you kidding me? She's the reason why y'all getting more salaries coming up in the next 5 years, but yeah, you're there to hate. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I have another comment here. If men would rather watch a WNBA game or be alone with a bear, Very funny, Lana BK. Yeah, would a man rather be with a WNBA or with a bear? I would say be at a WNBA game, but only barely. You got that, did you? Only barely. Hey, let's continue with this.
I agree with Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes, there it is.
I don't think the coach will be coaching the Anna Fever after this year, assuming she lasts this year. I thought it was very tepid response at this time, at this particular moment. I mean, we've sent tape to the league. We've complained with the league. Please, we didn't know about it. Where's the noise? You got a girl here who's box office in Caitlin Clark. She is box office. We can lament it all we want to, but the fact of the matter is Caitlin Clark is box office. And we got to get that out the way. And I'll get into all of that a little bit more in just a second because it's very, very important that we point this out. She fills seats. She brings the cameras. She brings national publicity. It's what she does. Now, as a player, let's understand this about Caitlin Clark. Number 1 overall pick, on pace to become the first rookie ever to average at least 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. But she also leads the league with 5.4 turnovers per game, 1.3 more than any other player in the league. She's shooting just under 36% from the field and 30% from three-point range, which is not impressive. Of the 21 players averaging at least 15 points per game, Clark has the 3rd worst field goal percentage at 35.7%. She also has more technical fouls with 3 than the Indiana Fever has wins right now with two, which is very, very bad, by the way. But understandable, because if you're losing that much, it stands to reason that you're a high-end competitor like she is, you're going to get caught for some technical fouls. She struggled with physical defense. She's
Okay, yeah, let's bring those stats back. 15 points a game, not very good. That's actually average. Field goal percentage, 35%. She's a rookie, so we got to allow that. 3-point percentage, 29%. That's average. Rebounds per game, 5.1. She's a smaller player. Assist point per game, 6.4. So she's playing at rookie average levels. She's not lighting up the league. What's doing it is her past collegiate career. So it's not about the skills of now. It's the skills of tomorrow. And the skills of yesterday. People are only watching because she has such a spectacular college career. But still, people are watching. Still to be heralded. Still to be heralded. Do we have another comment here? We do. Chanel saying, honestly, I heard David Joseph say that girls lost scholarships because of how they post on Facebook about, what's it, couches? How they posted about couches? Oh, you mean try to be Instagram Instagram girls? Yeah. What's her face? What's that? Hold on. That Australian basketball center, who's always taking those Instagram photos. Australian ladies basketball center. Let's see. What's her name again? What's her name again? Lisa. I knew we'd get her name. There she is. Yeah. Where'd she go? She was right here. She was right here. And I do mean right here. Where'd she go? Lisa Cambridge. That's it. Yeah, Liz Cambridge. Yes. The Australian basketball player. Not many people know her game, but a lot of people know about her Instagram posts. Sign up to her Instagram. Let me say that. Yeah, Elizabeth Cambridge. Get to know her Instagram page. You'll understand what I mean. Anyways, she's much known for her pictures than she is her game, unfortunately. Let me see. Oh, coaches. Maybe couches. Maybe coaches. Okay. They post about coaches. Okay. Probably means coaches, yes. Chanel says, LOL, yes. Spell check, sorry, was texting so bad. Okay, fair. She was talking about coaches. Okay, fair enough. Anyways, let's get back into... there we go. All right, let's get back into Stephen A. Not spectacular numbers from Caitlin Clark, but she's bringing eyes because of her past. Simple as that. And you got to let her mature. Let's continue.
You're losing that much. It stands to reason that you're a high-end competitor like she is. You're going to get caught for some technical fouls. She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me. And opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with. That's what Caitlin Clark said. That is what she said. Okay? But to me, it's a bigger issue going on. And when this happened and that girl... Kennedy Carter pushed her in the back like that. It was a cheap shot. It was not a basketball play. She should have been ejected, number one. Number two, there should have been a fine that was incurred thereafter. Number three, not to say that there won't be or hasn't been at this moment in time, I don't know of one. I know the team was fined for media availability purposes because people weren't available to talk. I know Angel Reese was also going to be fined because she didn't make herself available for the media as well. And I get all of that as well. We understand it. We see it for what it is. It is what it is. I'm saying this. It's important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine. You want to use the word resentment. We want to play with words. That's cool. It's something. And I think that some of the ladies, not all, but some of the ladies in the WNBA are missing the point. And the point is, this girl right here is a box office attraction. And because of her box office attraction, it's generating more eyeballs to the WNBA product, therefore more revenue for the WNBA product.
Including myself.
Don't you think y'all are going to benefit from that too? Look at the big picture. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about it this morning on my day job, First Take on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time.
Shameless plug.
A rising tide raises all boats. If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it. Now, it's just an opinion, albeit I believe an educated one. But this girl that comes away from comes out of college, who happens to be white, who's already making buku dollars, the maximum salary in the WNBA is $250,000. If I remember correctly, Caitlin Clark signed a $28 million endorsement deal. Well, nobody in the WNBA getting that. Nobody's gotten that yet, but...
It's a $28 million deal. I was just fact-checked. Thank you very much, Stephen A., for that. It's 28, not 128. There you go.
All right. Asia Wilson is a superstar in the NBA, in the WNBA. She's a two-time champion. This girl is legit. She's the real deal. And those kind of endorsements and all of that stuff ain't come her way, even though some has come away. Felicia Johnson out of LSU is going to get her bag. She already got NIL deals. She's also a hip-hop artist. We're seeing women get shine. We're seeing their shine elevate. It's deserving. It's long overdue. But the fact is, it's long overdue. And because it's long overdue, it begs the question, why the hell didn't it arrive earlier?
Because no one is watching the game, Stephen A. That's why. The WNBA is never made a profit. If it wasn't for their male brethren in the NBA, it would be out of business. There it is. I'll let you continue.
Because you didn't have Caitlin Clark earlier.
That too.
Now, what's the difference between her and a Diana Taurasi or a Sue Bird or Brianna Stewart or somebody else or UNESCO or somebody? Y'all talk about that. The fact of the matter is, the kind of stuff that's happening and has been happening over the last few months is because of Caitlin Clark. I got some of the stats in front of me to validate it. Because you see, I bring receipts. And I'll get to why I'm really pissed off in a few minutes. WNBA Draft 2024 drew 2.446 million viewers.
It was a primetime special, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reason why I drew 2.4 million viewers, because it was Caitlin Clark's year. You know, hey, I don't care what color she is. The fact of the matter is, you got 2.4 million people watching. Let's continue.
To ESPN on Monday night, making it the most watched draft in WNBA history. Who's the number one overall pick? Huh, Aaron? Who's the number one overall pick? Say it louder. Caitlin Clark. The number one overall pick. This is coincidence, huh? It's just coincidence, huh? Of course it's not. Highest rated draft in history because of Caitlin Clark.
Which draws parallels to Tiger Woods in 1997 at the Masters. Still the highest watched golf competition in history. Nothing ever runs a candle to that. You know why? Because of Eldrick. Let's go.
WNBA TV ratings for this season. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know it skyrocketed? ABC announced it had its most viewed opening weekend doubleheader ever, with two games combining to average 1.5 million viewers. That marks a 143% increase from a WNBA doubleheader on ABC a year ago. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? Well, you know it now. Last stat, just to throw this out there. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever has been involved in 3, now mind you, the same Indiana team that started out 1-7. The same Indiana team that lost their first 3 of their four games of the season. The same Indiana Fever that has the second worst record in WNBA basketball right now. The only team worse than them in the entire league is the Washington Mystics, who are winless in 8 games. The second worst team in the league is the Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark. Did you know that the Fever has been involved in 3 of the 4 TV games that have garnered 1.3 million average viewers this season? Entering this past weekend. These are the most watched WNBA games, are you ready for this? In over 2 decades. The Indiana Fever, 2-9. By the way, Indiana's a small market. It ain't New York City, ain't LA, ain't Chicago. It's not the Skies, it's not the Liberties, it's not the Sparks. We're talking about the Indiana Fever, led by a girl that was playing at Iowa, is producing the most watched WNBA games in over 2 decades.
Because nobody gave a damn about the WNBA 2 decades ago. Nobody gave a damn about the WNBA last year. They're giving a damn now. And you know what? However you give a damn, give a damn. However you give a damn, give a damn. Because through that damn, you're more liable to see more green rather than blue. Just saying.
What does that tell you? That tells you that before Caitlin Clark came along, it wasn't nearly as popular. It doesn't mean it wasn't growing in popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. But 3 years ago, WNBA was an afterthought. A little bit less than that, there were thoughts of this team being defunct and going away. Nobody cared. And I don't mean that literally. I mean by and large. And I'm going to say something that was very unpopular then. It'll be unpopular now, but I don't give a damn because it's a fact. Where are the ladies? The sport, I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about in the past when it wasn't as popular. The men have their sports. Do you know why men's sports became exponentially more popular? Because of women. It was more women watching NBA games. It was more women watching NFL games. That's how it became more popular. Well, ladies, if you help the NFL get more popular, you help the NBA get more popular, how come you didn't help the WNBA get more popular until recently? You did that. The men are the men. But the women rule. When women support you, you win. Everything shows that. It happens in sports. It happens in business. It happens in television. When women watching you, when women are listening to you, you win. Every superstar you could possibly fathom got it good with the ladies. The ladies support them. I don't care who you pick. Pick a superstar. Pick a mega superstar and tell me where they're lacking female support.
Have you ever been to an NBA game lately? No, seriously. Have you ever been to an NBA game lately? It's a goddamn fashion show. That's what it is. Especially when you're in a bigger market, it's a goddamn fashion show. I know of no woman, if you have NBA tickets, not miss a game. Not miss a game. They cancel outings with their friends. They cancel outings with their families to go to an NBA game. That's what women do. If a man has NBA tickets, guess what? You're guaranteed a date. Guaranteed. Why can't women make date nights with the men at the WNBA game? Give them a bit of incentive. I don't know. You sweeten the pot as you wish. Well, one thing he's right about is the fact that where women go, men follow. Especially if you're a woman that seems to captures the man's imagination. There's an idea. Make it a date night, ladies. Make it worth his while. So not only you're helping you, you're helping the women's game. Just a thought. You don't have to take. You can take it as you will. But it makes sense, don't it? You grow the game. You grow your, well, you take it as you will. Let's continue.
$25 to 54 demographic, 18 to 34 demographic. The list goes on and on. When the women support you, you win. You even win elections. You don't win elections because the men support you. For the most part, from what I've been told, you win it when the women come out and support you. Women know this. So why was the WNBA not popular all of these years?
Well, the one question I have for Stephen A. is the fact that if women's support counts so much in elections, why has there not been a women president? Just saying.
So when I go on national television and I bring up jealousy, envy, resentment, or whatever, I'm not saying it's not justified. If you are a WNBA player and you resent Caitlin Clark, it makes perfect sense. Because she's white and she's the golden girl that's considered the marketing savior for the sport. Yes, they were talking about chartered flights before she ever came along and opened her mouth. But shortly after Caitlin Clark opened her mouth, you had chartered flights. And you ain't have it in 2 decades. She's got that kind of influence, that kind of power. I wasn't trying to say that women, black, white, and everything in between associated with the WNBA was wrong and shouldn't feel resentment after all that hard work you put in to pound the pavement and to be the great players that you are and the great basketball ambassadors that you are. What you've done for this sport, of course you should feel resentful. Of course you should. What I'm saying is don't be blind. There's an opening. Exploit it. Rather than be resentful, envious, jealous, whatever word is applicable. Notice the opening. Caitlin Clark is bringing more attention. When you get on the court with her and you perform, and somehow, some way, you'll find a way to attach yourself to that level of magnetism that she surely has. Who knows what could be out there for you? And if suddenly the maximum salary goes from $250,000 to $450,000, and suddenly you're on chartered jets instead of commercial flights, and suddenly you're maximizing the potential of your name, image, and likeness, what do you care? At the end of the day, the rising tide lifts all boats. And I'm able to get personal about it. How many times did I tell y'all when ESPN signed Pat McAfee, nobody was happier than me? Shannon Sharp did, and he getting his shine. Nobody's happier than me. Ryan Clark got a new deal. Nobody's happier than me. Troy Aikman got a deal. Joe Buck got a deal. Kirk Herbstreit got a deal. Tom Brady got a deal. Tony Romo got his deal. Because they're setting the market. Why do you think I've had the smile on my face all of these months?
To be fair, a lot of these, ESPN went through a raft of firings, quite simply. So a whole lot of talent went out the door before more came back in the door with more money. So let's just leave it there. But let him finish.
Because I believe it's my turn. Has nothing to do with Disney. Has nothing to do with ESPN. It has everything to do with the industry. If I'm an NBA player and I've just won a championship and somebody who didn't win gets $50 million a year doing what I do, what do you think I'm going to think I'm worth? See how simple it is? It's capitalism. It's marketability. It's taking advantage of the moment. That's business. Why be resentful of any of them?
It's the Jordan effect. It's the Jordan effect. Caitlin Clark is just reincarnating what Michael Jordan did all those years ago. He was the once the tide that rose all boats. He was the one who was getting fouled. He was the one having to take it on the chin. But guess what? All NBA players realized what Jordan was doing. He was bringing more people, more eyeballs on the league, and guess what? Average salaries rose. Average promotional deals rose. Everybody got rich. But you didn't hear everybody player hate. They just congratulate. Say, okay, Michael's a great player. Yes, I have to foul him, but at the end of the day, we all profit. Why can't women see that? I know this newfound success is new. This newfound success is new to you, but you gotta think objectively and not subjectively, and realize that what Caitlin Clark is doing, the WNBA has been begging the sun, moon, and stars for years to happen, and it's finally happening. And all everybody can see is the negative, when there's a positive to be found. And as Stephen A. says himself, it needs to be exploited. WNBA players need to take advantage of it. The league needs to take advantage of this. Women of all shapes and sizes need to take their men and take advantage of this. To finally see women get their just deserve, even though I may not be a patron myself, I may just be. Because of someone new coming to the fore and to the table. I'm going to see if I can play a little bit of Tommy Sotomayor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to play it and then I'm going to minimize it so you don't have to see it. Because what I think he has to say is a great little summation of what needs to be said out here. So let me just turn this up and give you about 5 minutes of this.
Bill Bleach Body, whatever it is. She started selling shirts the next day with the saying on it. This is a senator. Wow. And this type of behavior is, they're happy about it. Like, hell, I'd love to be able to talk with y'all about Caitlin Clark and WNBA.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it because I know YouTube is going to flag me for it. So let me just get back onto my main screen and finish up. It's just over the 2-hour mark, so we're going to finish up right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard so many stars, you've heard so many people have their take on this subject matter. And it's because it's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal, yes. Let me get on the main screen here. There we go. It's kind of a big deal. Okay, before we go there, we got another comment from Chanel. I need to say one thing. Corey and DeVoe were born to a Trinity father and a white woman. Okay, but Erica was born to 2 Trinity parents. This father brought 3 kids to the professional level. Okay, congrats to them. Congrats. But let me say this: the WNBA is not about being against Caitlin Clark. Yes, you need to be competitive. Yes, you can't let her have her own way. But at the end of the day, you got to see the big picture. The WNBA needs to see the big picture, and that is this: you finally have a superstar. Call it what you will. Call a race what it is. But you're getting a newfound audience, and you need to take advantage of it. Need to take advantage of it. Just because she's not a part of the alphabet gang and her gang speaks for itself doesn't mean you have to hate. You got to take advantage of it. So, what NBA players and critics and the like are so amazed at is the fact that you finally have someone who can make your league profitable, make all WNBA players money, and all you could do, well, for a good amount of that group, all they could do is hate. All they could do is blame race. At the end of the day, who cares what race she is? The fact of the matter is you're getting more green in your back pocket. The fact of the matter is, she is making it so that your league is becoming more professional. And all praise is due to her. The fact that 25 years ago, 26 years ago, we weren't saying the same thing about Tiger Woods. We just saw it was Tiger who was going to bring golf to a whole new level, sports to a whole new level, and he did. It just so happens that Caitlin Clark is white. And in a quote-unquote black and lesbian league, it's unacceptable. But the fact of the matter is it's happening. And it's time for the WNBA and its players to start looking out for each other and start profiting from the good graces that has been bestowed upon them. And your job now is to keep going to games now that you have a star and support the league. It wasn't so long ago in the 90s that there was one, out of a cavalcade of stars in the NBA, there was one true star. And they realized it. And they milked it. And they took them to the Olympics. So much so. And the NBA became a worldwide game. To a point where now all the MVPs in the NBA are foreign-based. Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jovic. All those were based on the Jordan effect. Let's see what happens when it comes to the Caitlin effect. You know, I always used to say in this city, all we needed was one star. I'm talking about the city of Toronto. I'm not talking about music. All we needed was one star to just bring ourselves to notoriety. Now, not everybody agrees with Drake. Not everybody likes his music. And there are people who hate on his music. Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is, our town is a first-class town because of the likes of Drake. People take this town seriously because of Drake. Talent has come out of this town because of Drake, because of one guy. He was the tide that rose all boats way back when in early 90s. A kid from Degrassi. A kid very similar to Caitlin Clark. And now he's one of the biggest names in the game, and he is, well, undeniable. Let's see how well the WNBA does with an undeniable talent like Caitlin Clark. Will they succeed or implode? It's up to them. But one thing's for sure, you have a chance. You finally have a chance to make your league legit. The question is, will you do it? Valley Taman told you, you'll be forgotten in 5 years. Let's see. Prove all us navel-gazing men wrong. Support your league, support your girl, and you will eventually win. But it's on you, ladies. This is your league now. This is your league. This is your girl. You got to throw your support behind her and see where it takes you. And God help all those critics of the WNBA who think that such a hero has to be in blackface, because it doesn't. Tiger Woods, if he was a white kid, would bring in same if not more people because of his talent. It's up to WNBA fans to look away from the race and look at the talent, both in and out of the game. If you do that, I think you'll succeed. In a very cluttered sports landscape. But if you don't, it's your own fault. Because you finally have a reason to live. You finally got your Drake. Let's see if you let her win. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to end it right there. Again, I don't usually do a 2-hour length show on, well, the state of a women's league and a women's game. This is probably the first time, it is the first time I've done it. But I think it had to be talked about. And, you know, I'm in support of Caitlin Clark and what she's doing. She's facing an uphill battle. But I think it's a battle she can win. And as Chanel said in her last comment, if you're good, you're good. It's true. No matter what the race, no matter what the face, if you're good, you're good. And you need to support that individual himself. So, good luck, Caitlin. We'll be watching. At least I will, anyway. Thank you very much for joining me Talk Live. We're going to end it right there, and we're going to, I'll let you know if there's going to be a show tomorrow. If not tomorrow, definitely Thursday. We'll be back on Talk Live. But, yes, this is a special broadcast where we're actually praising the ladies. Yes, indeed. Because, you know, hey, you know, sometimes you got to give Jacqueline her jacket. So, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We'll end it there. Back on YouTube again. Thank goodness. And, yeah, we'll be back either tomorrow night or next or on Thursday night with a new topic to be discussed. All right. Thank you very much. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTLK.com. Like to subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We'll be putting this out in the Talk Live Minute. We are backlogged in terms of Talk Live Minutes. I'll soon be releasing some of those in the next couple of days and getting those out to you guys. So stay tuned and we'll be moving those forward. But thank you very much. And let me say this. Equipment is coming. Equipment is indeed coming. We have ordered. It's been ordered. And will be making their appearance soon. So we'll be getting to a new look Talk Live very, very soon. Yes, indeed. It's finally here, people. It's finally here. Just like Caitlin Clark did the WNBA. Anyways, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. And good night from Toronto, IG. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Live on YouTube. We are back on YouTube, people. Thank you very much. We've got a few comments here, and looks like the storm is over, the ban is over, and my hair is over anyways. But again, I thank you very much for joining me, and we'll be back either tomorrow night or Thursday night with a new topic here on Talk Live. So thank you very much. Enjoy your night.